He had 48 hours to kill her. The Vampire Council's orders were clear. Find Chloe Harris, eliminate the threat, return before Christmas morning. No exceptions, no mercy. But when Ezra Crowe found her, she wasn't plotting world domination. She was hanging Christmas lights alone in an empty apartment, crying to Mariah Carey, surrounded by cookies she'd baked for neighbours who'd never come. She was supposed to be dangerous. Instead, she was the loneliest person he'd ever seen. And Ezra had lived for 400 years. This was going to be a problem. Ezra Crowe was the council's best executioner. Clean, efficient, emotionless. In 4 centuries, he'd never failed a mission, never questioned an order, never felt anything except the cold satisfaction of duty fulfilled. The target file said, Chloe Harris, age 27, unmarked human with latent supernatural abilities, exposure risk, critical, threat level, extreme, eliminate immediately. Simple, standard. Except for one detail that nagged at him as he tracked her through the snowy December streets. She didn't know. Didn't know she had abilities. Didn't know the supernatural world existed. Didn't know that 3 days ago she'd accidentally used telekinesis to stop a car from hitting a child, and 17 witnesses with cell phones had uploaded shaky footage that the council's cleanup team barely contained. She was a ticking time bomb, and she had no idea. Ezra found her apartment easily. Top floor of a building that had seen better decades. Christmas lights blinking in every window except hers. He could hear music, that Mariah Carey song humans played obsessively this time of year, and beneath it, something that made him pause. Crying. Soft. Tired. The kind of crying that comes from being alone too long. He should have gone in immediately. Quick. Clean. She'd never see him coming. But instead, Ezra stood outside her door, listening to a stranger cry on Christmas Eve, and felt something he hadn't felt in centuries. Hesitation. Do your job, he told himself. She's a threat. Council's orders. You've done this 1,000 times. But his hand wouldn't turn the doorknob. Through the thin walls he heard her voice, talking to herself. Okay, Chloe, so what if nobody came to your cookie party? So what if you spent 3 days baking and decorating and nobody responded? So what if it's Christmas Eve and you're alone again? You're fine. You're totally fine. Her voice cracked. You're so pathetically lonely, you're having a breakdown over sugar cookies. Ezra closed his eyes. He should walk away, report back, let someone else handle this. But he'd seen the footage, seen her dive in front of that car without thinking, seen her save that child with powers she didn't understand, seen her collapse afterward, confused and terrified, while strangers stared. She wasn't dangerous. She was scared and alone on Christmas Eve. Do your job, his mind insisted, but his heart, the one he'd thought died 400 years ago, whispered something else. Not tonight. Ezra knocked. The crying stopped immediately. Scrambling sounds. Then the door opened a crack, and he saw her for the first time. The file photo hadn't prepared him. Chloe Harris was beautiful in that real, human way. Messy brown hair in a ponytail, eyes red from crying, flour on her cheek, wearing a ridiculous Christmas sweater with a reindeer that had a light-up nose. She looked exhausted and hopeful and heartbreakingly vulnerable. Hi? Her voice was uncertain. Can I help you? Ezra's carefully prepared cover story evaporated. He stood there, 400-year-old vampire executioner, completely speechless. Are you lost? She prompted gently. He scrambled for words. I'm new to the building, just moved in downstairs. I heard music and thought... What? What possible explanation? I thought maybe you were having a party. Smooth. Very convincing. Excellent work, executioner. Chloe's expression shifted. embarrassment, self-deprecation. That particular smile people make when admitting something pathetic. "Oh, no, not a party, just me, and cookies, lots of cookies." She laughed, but it sounded broken. "I kind of made way too many, and nobody came, and now I'm that weird neighbour who bakes alone on Christmas Eve, talking to strangers in doorways. So, that's my life." She started to close the door. "Wait!" Ezra's hands shot out. "I like cookies." Why did he say that? He didn't eat food, hadn't in 4 centuries. But Chloe's face lit up with such pure, desperate hope that he couldn't take it back. "Really? You want some? I have like 7 dozen, all different kinds. I got really into it, probably too into it. I might have a problem." She was rambling now, nervous and excited. "Come in, please. I mean, if you want. No pressure. But also please come in because I'm slowly drowning in baked goods and existential loneliness." She opened the door wider. Invitation given. And Ezra, who should have killed her, walked inside. Chloe's apartment was tiny but warm. Christmas decorations everywhere, lights strung across every surface, a small tree in the corner covered in handmade ornaments. And cookies. Dear God, so many cookies. "I might have overestimated how many friends I have," Chloe admitted, gesturing to the dining table absolutely buried in cookie platters. "Or I might have made a desperate cry for help in sugar cookie form. Either way, please take as many as you want. Take them all. I'm begging you." Ezra stared at the cookies. Gingerbread men, stars, trees, snowflakes, each decorated with meticulous care. Hours of work for a party nobody attended. Why did nobody come? The question escaped before he could stop it. Chloe's smile wobbled. "Good question. I texted everyone I know. Co-workers, college friends, my book club. Got a lot of sorry, busy, and family stuff, and read receipts with no response." She picked up a gingerbread man, studying it. "Turns out when you're the quiet girl who never makes waves, people forget you exist, even at Christmas." "That's..." Ezra struggled for words. "That's terrible." "That's life." She shrugged, but her eyes were wet. "Sorry, you probably didn't come here for sad stranger therapy. Cookie?" She thrust a plate toward him. He should say no, should complete the mission, should stop this charade immediately. Instead, Ezra took a cookie. A snowflake, elaborately decorated with white icing and silver sugar. "It's beautiful." "Thanks. I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials." Chloe sat down, suddenly looking exhausted. "I'm Chloe, by the way, since you're apparently the only person willing to suffer through my Christmas crisis." Ezra. He sat across from her, cookie in hand, mind racing. "And I'm not suffering." "You're very kind, but I literally just trauma dumped on a stranger who knocked on my door. That's peak sadness." "Or peak honesty." Ezra met her eyes. "Sometimes strangers are easier to talk to." "Is that why you really came up here? Because you heard me crying through the walls and took pity?" "Yes, exactly that." But he couldn't say it. "I heard music," he said carefully, "and I just moved to the city. Don't know anyone. Spending Christmas alone." Not a lie, he was alone. Had been for centuries. So when I heard the party sounds, I thought, maybe. Understanding flooded Chloe's face. "You're lonely too." "Very." She smiled, real and warm and devastating. "Well then, Merry Christmas, fellow lonely person. Want to help me eat our feelings in cookie form?" Ezra looked at this woman, this target, this threat to vampire secrecy who'd accidentally exposed herself saving a child. This kind, broken, achingly human person who'd invited a stranger into her home because they both understood loneliness. He should kill her. The council expected a report by dawn, expected confirmation, expected him to do his job. Instead, Ezra Crowe, 400-year-old executioner, picked up a cookie and said, "I'd love to." Chloe talked about her job at the library, about her collection of fantasy novels, about how she'd always felt different but couldn't explain why, about the weird incident 3 days ago. "I swear I didn't touch the car," she said, eating her 5th cookie. I don't know. I saw it coming toward that little girl and I felt something, like electricity, and suddenly the car stopped, just stopped, like it hit an invisible wall." Ezra's blood ran cold. "What did people say?" "They thought it was a miracle, divine intervention. Nobody suspected." She laughed nervously. "Nobody suspected the weird library girl had secret superpowers, because that's insane, right?" "Right," Ezra lied. "But between us?" Chloe leaned forward, voice dropping. "I think I did it. I think I have. Something weird, and it terrifies me." She looked so scared, so lost. Ezra wanted to tell her the truth, wanted to explain about magic, about latent abilities, about the hidden world that existed alongside hers. But telling her meant exposing everything, meant confirming she was a threat, meant sealing her fate. "Maybe it was adrenaline," he offered gently. "People do impossible things in crisis moments." "Maybe." She didn't sound convinced. "Sorry, this is heavy for cookie night. Tell me about you. What brings you to the city?" "Work." "True." "Consulting." "Technically true." "I travel a lot." "Very true." "Never really settled anywhere." The truest thing he'd said all night. "That sounds lonely." "It is." "Why do you do it?" "Because I'm a 400-year-old vampire assassin with no purpose except following orders." "Because I'm good at it, and I don't know how to do anything else." Chloe studied him with those impossibly kind eyes. "That's sad, Ezra." "Is it?" "Yeah. Everyone deserves a home, a place where they belong, people who care." She gestured around her tiny apartment. "Even if it's just a sad apartment full of rejected cookies, it's still home." Something in Ezra's chest cracked. When was the last time he'd had a home? A place that wasn't just a temporary stop between missions. People who cared about more than what he could do for them. "You barely know me," he said quietly, "and you're offering philosophy and cookies. Why?" "Because it's Christmas, and we're both alone. And maybe," she smiled, shy and hopeful, "maybe that's the whole point. Finding connection in unexpected places, even if it's just for one night." The clock struck midnight. Christmas Day. 36 hours left on his deadline. "Merry Christmas, Chloe." "Merry Christmas, Ezra." She held up a cookie like a toast. He did the same. And in that moment, Ezra Crowe made a decision that would destroy everything he'd built in 4 centuries. He wasn't going to kill her. He should have left after an hour, definitely after 2. But Chloe kept talking, kept smiling, kept being so thoroughly human and wonderful that Ezra forgot he was supposed to be her executioner. They watched terrible Christmas movies. Chloe explained every plot hole with delighted enthusiasm. Ezra pretended to eat cookies while actually slipping them into his jacket pocket. Neither of them mentioned the loneliness that had brought them together. At 3 a.m, Chloe fell asleep on the couch mid-movie, head tilting onto Ezra's shoulder. He should have left. Should have disappeared into the night. Should have reported back to the council that the target was neutralized. Instead, he carefully shifted her into a more comfortable position, draped a blanket over her sleeping form, and sat there protecting her from nothing, because nothing could hurt her while he was there. Dawn came. His phone buzzed. Council message. Status report required. Target eliminated? Ezra stared at Chloe's peaceful sleeping face, at the cookies they'd shared, at the Christmas lights twinkling in the growing daylight. He typed, "Complications. Need more time." The response was immediate. 24 hours. Complete the mission or we send someone else. Ezra's hands clenched. If he didn't kill her, someone else would. Someone without hesitation. Someone who wouldn't see her humanity. He had one day to figure out how to save her life. Chloe stirred, eyes blinking open. "Ezra? You stayed?" "You fell asleep." "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She sat up, embarrassed. "I didn't mean to. Did you sleep at all?" "I don't sleep much." "True. Vampires didn't need it." "Well, thank you. For staying. For—" Her voice went soft. "For making Christmas not terrible." "Same." She smiled, then noticed the sunlight streaming through windows. "It's Christmas morning. Do you have to go? Family obligations?" "No family," Ezra said truthfully. "Me neither." Chloe bit her lip. "This is going to sound crazy, but do you want to spend Christmas together? Like, officially? We could make breakfast, watch more movies, pretend we're not both disasters having a holiday crisis." 24 hours. That's all he had. 24 hours to figure out how to save her, keep her hidden, or convince the council she wasn't a threat. 24 hours to spend with this remarkable human who'd given him something he'd forgotten existed. Hope. "Yes," Ezra said. "I'd like that very much." Chloe made breakfast. Real human breakfast with eggs and bacon and toast. Ezra pretended to eat while actually using magic to vanish the food when she wasn't looking. They talked about everything and nothing. Books, movies, life, dreams. "What do you want?" Chloe asked, scrambling eggs. "Like, if you could have anything." "Peace. Purpose. A reason to exist beyond killing. I want to matter. To someone. For something good. You matter to me." She said it so simply, like it was obvious. "You made my Christmas not terrible. That matters. I barely did anything. You stayed. You listened. You didn't leave when you saw I was a disaster." She plated the eggs, bringing them to the table. "Most people can't even do that much." Ezra's phone buzzed. Another council message. "Time sensitive. Target's abilities growing. Immediate elimination required." His blood ran cold. They'd detected something. Another power surge. If they knew she was getting stronger... "You okay?" Chloe asked, noticing his expression. "Fine. Just work." "On Christmas?" "Unfortunately." He stood. "I need to make a call. I'll be right back." Outside, Ezra dialed the one vampire he trusted. Marcus. Old friend. Council member. The only one who might help. "Tell me you completed the mission," Marcus answered. "I need more time." "Ezra, she's exhibiting increased abilities. She moved an entire car yesterday without touching it, in front of witnesses. She's a catastrophic exposure risk." "She doesn't know what she is. She's terrified. She's dangerous. She's human and kind, and she doesn't deserve to die for something she can't control." Silence. Then, "You care about her. I've spent one night with her. And in 400 years, I've never heard you defend a target. What happened?" "Everything. She's innocent, Marcus, truly innocent, and executing her for accidentally saving a child's life it's wrong. Since when do we care about wrong? We care about survival, about secrecy. Maybe that's the problem." More silence. "You're compromised. I'm sorry, Ezra, but if you won't complete the mission, we're sending someone else. Dawn tomorrow, no extensions." The line went dead. 18 hours. That's all he had left. Chloe was waiting with hot chocolate when he came back. Real hot chocolate, not the instant kind. Marshmallows and everything. "You look stressed," she observed. "Work complications. Want to talk about it?" God, yes. He wanted to tell her everything. Wanted to explain about vampires and councils and execution orders. Wanted to warn her. Save her, run with her. But telling her meant exposing their entire world, meant confirming she was dangerous, meant there'd be nowhere to hide. "Not much to tell," he lied. "Just difficult clients." "I get that. Library has its share of difficult patrons. She handed him the mug. Here, chocolate fixes everything. It's science. Ezra took the hot chocolate, held it, let the warmth seep into his perpetually cold hands. Thank you. For chocolate? It's literally the least impressive thing I've done today. For everything. For letting a stranger into your home. For sharing Christmas. For... He met her eyes. For reminding me what kindness looks like. Chloe's expression softened. Ezra, are you okay? Really? No. He was falling apart. 400 years of duty and discipline crumbling because one human had shown him genuine compassion. I'm better than I've been in a very long time, he said. Also true. They spent the day together. Chloe taught him how to make paper snowflakes. They watched more movies. She read him her favourite book passages. He told her stories about places he'd travelled, carefully editing out the centuries and supernatural elements. As evening fell, they ended up back on the couch, snow falling outside the window, Christmas lights glowing warm. This was the best Christmas I've had in years, Chloe said softly. Maybe ever. Thank you for staying. Thank you for inviting me. She turned to look at him. Really look. Can I tell you something weird? Please. I feel like I've known you forever, like we're old friends instead of strangers who met 12 hours ago. Is that crazy? If it is, we're both crazy. Maybe that's okay. Maybe crazy is good. She bit her lip. Ezra, I don't want this to end. I don't want you to leave and for this to be just a strange Christmas story. I want... What? His voice was rough. I want to see you again. Tomorrow. And the day after. I want to know you. Really know you. Is that okay? She couldn't. He had 12 hours before another executioner arrived. 12 hours before everything he'd tried to protect would be destroyed. Unless... The idea came suddenly. Dangerous. Possibly suicidal. But maybe, just maybe, possible. Chloe, he said carefully, if I told you something impossible, something that would change everything you know about the world, would you trust me? Her expression grew serious. Yes. Why? Because in 12 hours, you've been kinder to me than most people I've known for years. Because you see me, really see me. And I think... She took a shaky breath. I think you're hiding something big. And I think you're terrified. And I want to help. Of course she did. Because Chloe Harris saved people, stopped cars, invited lonely strangers to share cookies, offered help to someone clearly in crisis. She was exactly the kind of person who deserved to live. I need to show you something, Ezra said, and you need to promise not to scream. Ezra, you're scaring me. I know, I'm sorry, but you need to know the truth, about what you are, about what I am, about why you're in danger. Her eyes went wide. Danger? Will you trust me? Chloe searched his face, then nodded. Show me. Ezra took a breath he didn't need, then let his glamour drop. His eyes shifted to crimson, his fangs extended. The temperature around them dropped 10 degrees as his true nature manifested. I'm a vampire, he said quietly. 400 years old, sent here to kill you because you're a latent supernatural with emerging abilities. You're a threat to our secrecy. And in 12 hours, if I don't complete the mission, someone else will. Chloe stared. Didn't scream, didn't run, just stared. Then, okay. Okay? Okay, you're a vampire. I apparently have superpowers. Someone wants to kill me, and you're... She swallowed hard. You're trying to save me. Yes. Why? If you're supposed to kill me, why tell me this? Why help me? Ezra reached out slowly, took her hand. Because in 400 years, You're the first person who made me want to be something other than a killer. Because you're kind and brave, and you deserve to live. And because," his voice cracked, "because I think I'm falling in love with you. And I've only known you 12 hours, which is insane, but it's true." Tears spilled down Chloe's cheeks. "That's the most romantic and terrifying thing anyone's ever said to me." "I'm sorry." "Don't be." She squeezed his hand. "I feel it too. This impossible connection. Like we were supposed to meet. Like this was always meant to happen. But that doesn't solve the problem. The council. Then we run. We hide. We fight. Whatever it takes." Her jaw set with determination. "I didn't survive 27 years of loneliness to get murdered by vampire bureaucracy. And I definitely didn't find you just to lose you 12 hours later." Despite everything, Ezra laughed. "You're remarkable." "I'm terrified, but I'm tired of being alone, and I'm tired of hiding from who I am." She stood, pulling him up. "So let's figure this out, together. There might not be a solution. Then we'll make one. Come on, 400-year-old vampire, you've got to have some tricks." He did. One trick. One desperate, dangerous possibility. "There's a ritual," Ezra said slowly, "to bind your abilities, make them undetectable. The council couldn't track you, couldn't claim you're a threat. Do it. It's dangerous, painful, and permanent. Will I live?" "Yes." "Then do it." "Chloe." "Ezra, I spent years feeling different, feeling wrong, hiding who I am. If binding my powers means I get to live, if it means I get to be with you, if it means I finally get to stop running from myself." She cupped his face. "Then do it. Please." He should say no, should explain all the risks, should give her time to think. But the clock was ticking, and every second brought another executioner closer. "Okay," he whispered. "Okay. But after this, we run. We disappear. The council can't know I'm involved, can't know I helped you. So we both become ghosts? Is that okay?" Chloe smiled through tears. "As long as I'm a ghost with you." The binding ritual took 2 hours. Ezra drew symbols in salt, chanted words in languages dead for millennia. And when he pressed his hand to Chloe's chest, channeling power, she screamed. It hurt. God, it hurt. He could see it in her face. But she didn't ask him to stop, just gripped his free hand and held on while her abilities were systematically locked away. When it finished, Chloe collapsed, breathing hard, tears streaming, but alive. "Did it work?" she gasped. Ezra checked. Her energy signature was gone, completely undetectable. To the council, she'd just be another human, boring, invisible, safe. It worked. Good. She sat up slowly. Now what? Now we run. I have safe houses, places the council doesn't know about. We can disappear, start over. Together? If you want. Ezra, I just let you perform vampire magic on me and permanently alter my supernatural abilities. I think wanting to be together is implied. He laughed, helped her stand. We need to leave. Now. Before... The door exploded inward. 3 vampires, council enforcers, the backup team Marcus had warned about. Ezra Crowe, the lead vampire said coldly. Step away from the target. She's not a target anymore. I bound her abilities. She's human. No threat. You helped her. Disobeyed orders. Violated council law. The enforcer smiled. She dies. And so do you. Chloe stepped in front of Ezra. Actually stepped in front of him. this powerless human woman putting herself between him and death. "No," she said firmly. "You want to kill someone on Christmas? For trying to survive? For being kind? Then you go through me first." The enforcers laughed. "Move aside, human. Make me." They moved forward, and Chloe, brave, impossible Chloe, raised her hands. Nothing happened. Her powers were bound. She had no abilities. She had no way to fight. But she stood her ground anyway. And Ezra, watching this fragile human woman defend him with nothing but courage and will, felt something he hadn't felt in 400 years. Purpose. He pulled Chloe behind him, faced the enforcers, and let his true power manifest. "You want her?" His voice dropped to something ancient and deadly. "You go through me." The fight was brutal, quick. Ezra was older than all three combined, stronger, faster, angrier. They thought he'd gone soft, thought he'd be easy prey. They were wrong. When it ended, 3 enforcers lay unconscious, and Ezra stood there, breathing hard, covered in blood that wasn't his. "Holy shit," Chloe whispered. "That was terrifying, violent, proof you should run from me. Hot. That was incredibly hot. Is that weird? That feels weird." Despite everything, Ezra laughed. "You're insane. I'm in love with a 400-year-old vampire executioner who just fought 3 people to protect me. Insane is kind of my brand now." He pulled her close, held her tight. "We need to go. They'll send more." "Where?" "Anywhere. Everywhere. As long as we're together." Chloe pulled back enough to look at him. "Merry Christmas, Ezra." "Merry Christmas, Chloe." They kissed, deep and desperate and full of promise. Outside, dawn was breaking on Christmas morning. The world was waking up, and somewhere, vampire enforcers were regrouping. But in that moment, Ezra Crowe, 400-year-old executioner who'd never failed a mission, held the woman he'd chosen over duty, over orders, over everything, and felt something impossible. Joy. 1 year later, small cabin, mountain location, off every grid. Ezra and Chloe curled on a couch watching snow fall outside. "Best Christmas ever," Chloe murmured. "You said that last year, and I'll say it next year, and the year after, and every year until forever. Forever is a long time. Good thing vampires live forever," she grinned. "Think you can put up with me that long?" Ezra kissed her forehead. "I think I can manage." The council never found them. They'd become ghosts, urban legends, the executioner who broke every rule for love. And every Christmas, they'd make cookies, more than they could possibly eat, and leave them out for the lonely, the lost, the people who needed to know someone cared. Because kindness matters, connection matters, and sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is choose love over duty. Sometimes that's also the bravest thing. If this story made you believe in Christmas miracles, in choosing kindness over cruelty, in the power of one person caring about another, drop a comment with a Christmas tree emoji. Let's flood this section with hope, because the world needs more people who'd risk everything for someone they barely know. More moments where love wins over violence. More reminders that we all deserve someone who'd break every rule to keep us safe. Merry Christmas. You matter. You're seen. And your miracle might be waiting in the most unexpected place.